Hey everybody, welcome back to the Active Turnkey Podcast. I'm your host, Jarrod Stotmeister, and I'm here at another property. We're kind of doing a series on being in the field and what we got to do to make decisions and what we do when we go to our properties and how we evaluate them. Today I'm at a property here in Gary, Indiana, and actually this is my personal rental. I've owned this one for several years and picked it up and really didn't do too much to it. It was in pretty solid condition when I acquired it from the owner. There are some things we need to do to the property and some updates. We just had a turnover and I haven't even been inside. I just opened the front door and then noticed there was some stuff in there, some stuff the tenants left behind. So we're certainly going to need to have some work here and I'm expecting that. But I'm kind of walking through with a different perspective. On the last ones, we talked about the idea of what we would do for a turnkey rehab or an active turnkey rehab or a flip, all these different options. In this case, it's more of a turnover and how, as an owner, there's definitely different perspectives in what you're going to do. You could go more high level, go in, gut, do whatever, do different things. And some people, and like me in this case, I would really like to do as little as possible. But how we make our decisions, what we're going to do, certainly we need to make the place as nice as possible if we want to demand the high-end rent. And so those are the kind of things we're going to go through today. So again, we're here at my personal rental, and right out of the gate, there's definitely some gutter repairs that need to be done. Originally, we added the shutters on front just so it can have a little bit of curb appeal, but we definitely need some little minor landscaping. We're probably going to get rid of that porch door. Guys, we put those on there, and they're always damaged. They're always broken. They never seem to close over time. So we normally don't like to put on those types of doors. The tenants like them. I do understand that, but we don't like to put those on there. So those will be gone. We'll take that out. So we need some gutter repair here. The gutters need to be cleaned out. Actually, already have someone who's coming this week to power wash. So that's one of the things I noticed when I was coming around. And as we loop around here, this whole side desperately needs to be power washed. So that's going to get done. Just the minor repairs. Looks like we need a gutter extension. Just minor things so far. Need to get this on the lawn list. The lawn is definitely longer. The tenant just moved out about a week or two ago, so there's definitely some things left over here that they should have cared for, especially these gutters. I mean, this is just certainly on the tenant. So guys, and this is on the back of the house, so unless the property management company, there is no alley access, so I would not put this on the property management company. They would have had to walk back here to catch this. This is definitely on the tenants. But this is how things happen. This is not a basement. It's on a slab, so fortunately there shouldn't be any issues when it comes to water. But that is how stuff happens. Stuff happens to water. Roof overall is in good shape, so I'm not touching that. I'm going to leave that alone. But we're just going to do some power washing, some cleanup, make sure everything looks nice and neat, clean up some of this junk here in the back. Clearly there's some trees that have grown since we've been here last. They're touching the house. Those are going to need to be trimmed back. But that's about it out here. I think all we would do is clean it up. Clean the gutters, put extensions on, trim the tree, and I think we'd call it a day for the exterior. Actually, the only other thing I would probably recommend, guys, and actually now as I look at it, two things. One, we replace that light or add a globe to the light. It's there, that's damaged. And then I noticed that the front and back doors were original. The color, we never painted that. So we would probably paint those just so they look nice. And then we do need to check every window for screens. So this is a turnover. So the whole perspective is different. We're looking at specifically what your property manager and what your tenants are going to expect from you. And so that's what we're going to want to fix. So now we're going to go into the house. And again, folks, I haven't been inside this yet other than opening the front door. So I'm going to kind of see this with you for the first time. So I already mentioned we will paint this front door. That's going to be done. But like I mentioned, they did leave some stuff left behind the big furniture, left behind some sort of dresser there. They used the TV, workout machine. They use this room. So this house is actually a 1.5 bedroom in Etna. So this area used to be a place that nobody wanted to go to, no one wanted to touch. And now it's a phenomenal area to go in. Right now, if I wanted to make this a 4.2, all I gotta do is pop in one wall in the door, and it's a 4.2. It really doesn't help me that much to get a 4.2. Just a little bit. At this point, after you get the third bedroom, the square feet is what matter. So eventually, if I ever decided to flip it, I would absolutely add that wall in, pop in a door, and then, in fact, it already has the door there. So I wouldn't even have to put a door. I would literally have to put in the wall and add an outlet on the wall, and I have now a fourth bedroom. So, but unfortunately, I have some clean out here to do. We do have tile throughout here, so the previous owner put in tile, and it's in great shape. I don't see any cracking, which is good. That is always the concern when you're dealing with tile, is the cracking. I normally wouldn't put in myself, but this looks like it's held up pretty well. So as of right now, I'm leaving the tile alone. It does, if you can tell, we did the old school white trim with agreeable gray paint. The tenant has been here for a few years. That wall's pretty rough, but I'm going to venture to say that this whole house will need to be painted. It'll need at least one coat all the way around. And then when we come here in the kitchen, we did do some. It looks like the tenant may have painted these cabinets a little bit. I don't believe that these were all painted to match the top part, so they did a little something there. We did not go with the upgraded countertops, so that's something we could entertain. And then these appliances were old. At least the stove was. So that is something that we may determine to upgrade. The fridge looks decent. I'm not going to open it for you all here for your enjoyment. But we're going to have. I mean, they left some stuff behind. And frankly, some of the stuff looks like it's usable for somebody. They left decorations and all. Very interesting. These types of builds, when you wrap around, here's your laundry space. So no light bulb naturally. And then this is how you get upstairs through here. But their light bulbs naturally don't work. That's fun. So back here is you can actually kind of see it. Back here is that water heater. And so that's a newer, so I don't think we need to worry about that. So I'm going to move up these steps and see what's going on here. Looks like I found a damaged step along the way up. Now, up here, you guys can see that we did go with the vinyl. And so this area is not so bad. I'm not going to touch any of the flooring. Looks like they damaged the wall and damaged the door. So that's going to need to be replaced. We need a new door, need the wall done, a little bit of damage there, maybe a leak of some kind. But we do need to paint walls and trim up here. So that's going to need to be done. Then we come through here. Like I said, I walked in this room with you guys, so naturally none of the bulbs work. But we'll have to break all this down. I'm a little surprised at the amount of stuff that the tenant left behind. They didn't move out. And this was a good tenant. They did pay. Every month they were current. I had them in there for several years in this property. But we will have a clean out. We will have to take care of this. And again, guys, I apologize for how dark it is. But this is real life, I guess. So when you walk into something, all this need to be cleaned out. Don't know about this, but I'm anticipating needing to paint the entire unit building up here. And then up here too, I'm wondering if maybe we have a breaker. I might have to check on that. In fact, let's pause this video, guys, and we'll check and see if maybe it's just a breaker. All right, guys, I'm back. It looks like it's just all light bulbs up there. I don't know what they did, how they lived up there, but they didn't have a light bulb working. So we're back downstairs here, walking through. And again, I haven't seen any of this to see. So this is just unbelievable, guys. Not a single light bulb working. What in the world? So we're here. And you know what? I'm wondering if maybe they had the power turned off. That might be the more realistic thing. We did have tile put in originally. So actually this area, I would venture to say that in the end, we just need to get it cleaned up, do our best. Like I said, we'll paint the entire interior, but the shower surrounds you just need to clean up. We'll come down the hall. This is bedrooms 3 and 4. We saw the ones upstairs. So again, so just to kind of give you more insight, it actually has 4 bedrooms already. That one bedroom up front would be a 5th. So that tied into why we didn't feel like we needed to add that bedroom. But they're pretty dirty. I don't know what in the world's going on here, folks. This is property management. This is turnover. I'm not excited about it. This is just dollar signs. Fortunately, I believe we do have some money for a deposit, but it's gonna eat up every bit of that deposit here. So I'm not excited about that whatsoever. Here we got some more drywall. And it looks like we maybe even left the paint in here, because this paint is not the same as the rest of the house, but unless the tenant painted it. But looks like we could use some closet doors and things like that. But overall, need a clean out. And once we get the clean out done, we'll find it's not horrible. We got some doors we probably need to replace. The kitchen probably is going to need the most attention aside from paint and some interior doors. And so this is my personal rental. Again, I'm seeing it for the first time. Little excited. It's a little sarcasm here, but about what we're seeing. But this is what happens. You walk in, and let me tell you guys. When the property manager comes in, they don't look at this and say, "All right, awesome work." They would prefer to see this vacant, cleaned, and swept and ready to go. They would prefer to do the least amount of work possible to help us investors get this on the market. But all that being said, it is what it is. We got to get to work. And but this is for the most part, again, this is going to be a turnover for me. Now, let me tell you something. I'll tell you guys, my decision on courts and all those different things will be impacted by the fact that I know I'm already going to have to put in some money into painting and the entire interior, painting and doors and such. But odds are, I think I'm going to go ahead and paint the cabinets, and we're definitely going to save it. We'll paint the cabinets and possibly even put in a 4-inch backsplash with quartz. And so it'll look gorgeous when it's all done, ready to go for them. And one benefit for me for this property is that I'm likely going to be able to bump the rent that I had here significantly. There's going to be a massive amount of jump here because of the size of the house. And so I was giving a discounted rent to this property previous. So the money I do put in this one is going to help me raise my rent significantly. And so I hope you guys appreciate this and enjoy this. This is real for the most part. For me, when we make our decisions from a property management perspective, it's just like me right now. We do not want to spend any more money than we have to. We want to make this nice and clean for the next tenants. But we also want to save every dollar we can, understanding that goes against your cash flow and against your numbers. And so thank you so much for joining me today on cast and kind of seeing my response first of all to a property. And no doubt maybe you guys who have properties in your own areas, you've kind of gone through this, but this is it. This is what it looks like. It could have been worse. I'll tell you that. We've seen a lot worse. But thank you for joining me as I walk through my personal rental for the first time for a turnover, and to kind of see what needs to be done and what we got to do to get on the market. Thanks for joining me, guys. Active Turnkey, the best way to buy rentals. Have a great one.